welcome to the latest update video. I'm about, I don't know, what is it, like 2 weeks overdue on when I was planning on having this up. I had kind of a hilarious thing come up because like I'm even more crippled than before, which is it's funny because it's just funny at this point because like body, you got to come up with something else to break down because I'm already like messed up, so you got to be more clever than that if you're going to take me down. But I hope that this thing's been getting a lot better. I think that I actually just coincidentally like severely strained it doing some yard work. I was working with a lot of stones and rocks, moving them around, and I think I like really overstretched or something. I don't know what it was, but it's getting better, and so that's good. As far as medication goes that I was talking about last time, it was quite wonderful because it's taken the edge off a lot of things. Unfortunately, even though it's taken the edge off a lot of things, it hasn't really given me a lot of additional time on the computer, which is kind of odd, but I get a little bit more time, but not a whole lot, and that might be because in some ways this is getting worse. It's kind of spread to every activity, everything that I do. It used to be kind of just the computer, and now it's just everything. It's just mad all the time. My hands are just pissed off all the time for no apparent reason. But the drugs seem to be super helping just calm it down, but not particularly giving me a whole lot of extra time on the computer, as I mentioned before, which is unfortunate. But I did get an appointment scheduled with my doctor. I'm seeing him Friday, and I may have mentioned it in the last video, but with this complex regional pain syndrome thing they're working on with me right now, it's kind of just a experiment around with various drugs until you figure out what works. And unfortunately, with the experimenting around with various things, they apparently want to go 2 months or more before they try something else. So the 2 months have gone by, so now I can talk and evaluate things with them. I'm also trying to poke into looking at some other routes, kind of like second opinion type thing, and we'll see where all that goes. But hey, I can work a bit more, so that's nice. Not when I completely wreck my hand a whole bunch, but I mostly have this just on now at this point to just like make sure that I keep getting better, because I mostly recovered from that. That sucked. That really sucked. I don't know what that was about. I'm going to talk to my doctor about that too. But since it's getting better and on its way, it's probably nothing big. Probably just overworked it and injured it somehow. But anyway, enough of that. On with the game. I've been doing some work, and I have somebody on that's following me on the Patreon that's been really kind and doing a bunch of work UI wise. And that hasn't really been what I've been trying to focus on and work on, because I kind of bored you a little bit with lots of UI stuff in the past, and so I'm hoping to spend a lot more effort on getting some actual game in there. But all that's being done, and so I'm probably going to try integrating in some of that as I have time between everything else that's going on. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Maybe this is just one of the weird stages of grief with all this thing, but it's just humorous at this point. It's just like, this is just so stupid at this point. It's just funny. Anyway, so on kind of a UI game aspect sort of thing, one thing I've been trying to look at and analyze quite a bit is kind of so this the XCOM kind of games I've always been really heavy on kind of the spreadsheet side, and that's a part that I don't know, for some reason I've always really liked. But spreadsheet games aren't necessarily, and spreadsheet mechanics aren't necessarily the things that most people like. I mean, who likes to go and edit a big spreadsheet? It's kind of necessary in the XCOM games because you're running a whole organization as well as these little tactical shootouts. But there's kind of two different flavors that have kind of come by. There's the old school, like the early UFO Defense, Terror from the Deep, some of the other games that kind of follow in the same genre that were super heavy on lots and lots of intricate kind of spreadsheet style stuff that you did, and I can't get enough of the UFO Defense and Terror from the Deep kind of spreadsheet stuff that goes on in those games. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of strange that way, but I really enjoy that stuff in those games. It's one thing I really missed in the remakes that came out, is that they glossed over it so heavily to where you didn't get to do all that little stuff. It's strange because it's like I like loading up my guys and they have all the little boxes for where do you put the bullet clip, because it changes how many time units it takes to pull it from like a shoulder where instead of the backpack and whatnot. And I understand that's really too much detail in many ways, but it was a lot of fun. And intricately building out your base and stuff. I mean, I love the beauty of the whole, what they call it, anthill style base building in the newer games, but seriously, they boiled out just about anything interesting out of it. It's like really pretty to look at, but there's just not much that happens. Whereas there was a lot more interesting things that went in there, especially since your base got invaded. XCOM and XCOM 2, like, no base invasions? What? It's like the one thing that everyone complained about in the first XCOM, and you had the chance to get it right in XCOM 2, and you still didn't have base invasions. You kind of had this thing that was the base invasion, but you never go inside the ship. It's just defend the exterior. In fact, you have to go somewhere over there and do it, so it's just another mission. And I don't understand why they don't want to do that. I'm sure there's some sort of reason. Anyway, so in the old games, there's a lot of minute little details that you crunch. Lots of number crunching, lots of details, lots of depth, really interesting stuff, at least to me. If you really boil it down, there's actually not really that much depth there. Mostly just complexity, but it's really fascinating complexity to me. And to a lot of other people. And then you have kind of the new train of thought with these games, which is like XCOM, XCOM 2, and other ones that fall in that genre where I hate to use terms like casual or something, because I don't think that the XCOM games are really casual, but at least from a spreadsheet side of things, they're very simplified and very much like, let's not waste your time. You're here so that you can do endless over and over and over again tactical combats, and you don't care about the base building. And I'm like, I do care about the base and the balancing the spreadsheets and buying individual clips for my guns. I care. I shouldn't, maybe, but I do. I care. But some people don't. Anyway, so it comes with what I was doing is I've got a lot of stuff going on already in the UI, and what I have in the UI is not even really the full thing yet. I haven't even done a lot of the complex bits, like with soldiers and supplies and things like that. And I was looking at all of that, and I was wondering, well, how do you balance this? Like, do I need all these things? Do I not need all these things? I want them, but is that just the part of me that like really likes running the little fidgety bits of the organizations in these games? And so I thought it might be interesting actually to present the thought the question out to all of you. You know, those of you that are still actually paying attention to me, even though I can't seem to produce much of anything right now besides a lot of whiny bits about my hands being broken. Those of you that are still watching obviously care a bit about what this product's going to be like when I finally kick this hand thing and finally get this done. So since all of you seem to be the ones that care the most, you seem to be the best ones to ask, what do you like in that sort of thing? What would be interesting to you? How much detail do you want in the base bits? Or do you really just want lots of the tactical gameplay and that's it? I mean, the clearest example of this really is the new XCOMs versus the old XCOMs. I hope that question got across, and thank you for watching this video, and hopefully I can respond to all the comments and we can talk a bit and see what kind of things everyone's interested in. And I'll keep working on all this, and hopefully I'll have some stuff to show you soon, and hopefully I can get over this soon, but this could be a long haul here. I mean, I was hoping that this would be done a long time ago, and going on 2 years on this, and it looks like it's going to be a long, happy try various substances until something either makes me go insane or actually does something for me. Hoping for the latter there. Thank you for watching, and hope to hear from you in the comments. And I'll see you next time.